Eagles fans, hold on tight. The preseason nightmare is over. Finally, a game that gives us hope, sparks excitement, and shows that the future might just be brighter than we thought. This isn't just another preseason recap. This is the moment we see potential stars rising and young players making their mark. After a tough stretch, the Philadelphia Eagles faced the Cleveland Browns in their second preseason game, and while the score ended 13-2 for the Browns, the story isn't about the loss. It's about what finally went right for the Eagles. Let's start with Jed Campbell. The guy made his presence felt immediately. Right at the start of the game, Campbell sacks the quarterback, showing that he's not just a name on the roster. This is the kind of player who can set the tone for the defense from day one. Then there's Trotter Jr., who has been steadily improving all preseason. He was on the field almost every snap and consistently around the ball, making tackles in the run game and sniffing out plays before they even develop. Sure, there were a few moments where he didn't wrap up perfectly, but his downhill aggression and football instincts are obvious. This kid is solidifying himself as a reliable backup linebacker, and if he continues this trajectory, he could become a cornerstone of the defense. And the star moment of the night? Andrew Makuba. This guy finally broke out. He read a play perfectly, slipped between blockers, and returned an interception 75 yards for a pick six. Not only that, he scooped up a fumble and nearly turned it into another score. After missing several practices due to injury, this was the kind of performance that makes coaches take notice. Makuba's ball hawking ability and instinctive play give the Eagles a legitimate spark at safety, the kind that can change games when the regular season begins. Preseason isn't about perfection, it's about flashes, and these young players gave us flashes we've been waiting for. For Eagles fans, this is a moment to breathe, smile, and finally get a glimpse of what this defense could become. Vic Fangio now has to feel confident about the depth in the secondary and the future of his young stars. Eagles fans, what do you think? Who impressed you most in this game, Makuba, Trotter Jr., or Campbell? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about who's ready to take the next step this season. Eagles fans, get ready. Some young players are finally showing us why they belong in this defense. Big plays, big flashes, and a taste of what this team could be. You're not going to want to blink during this breakdown. Let's talk more about Andrew Makuba. Honestly, some of the other safeties, like Sidney Brown, didn't make much of an impact. The announcers kept saying Brown was the one to watch for a starting role, but he didn't make those highlight reel plays. Makuba, on the other hand, finally got healthy, got his reps, and spread his wings. He showed exactly why the Eagles drafted him. His instincts, speed, and ball hawking ability were on full display. After seeing him make those big plays, it's clear the safety spot might finally be in good hands. Eagles fans, let him start week 1. He deserves it, and we could see him make a real difference in 2025. Switching over to the edge rushers, Azizo Olari is someone who's quietly making a case. Sure, he had a small slip on a reverse play, but he rushed with power, bend, and explosiveness that looked impressive. Olari has averaged 4 to 5 sacks a year with the Giants, even while battling injuries. Now, with a fresh opportunity in Philadelphia, he's showing he could be a key part of the pass rush rotation, maybe even a double-digit sack guy in a rotational role. On one play, both he and Ushi had fantastic pressure on the quarterback, showing that when this unit clicks, the QB will feel the heat. At defensive end, Olari probably took the crown as the third edge rusher, just ahead of Uch, who also had solid moments. Meanwhile, the defensive tackle group showed mixed results. Gabe Hall had a great TFL when the Browns were pinned in their own end zone, and Ty Robinson made some clutch plays despite an up and down day. Byron Young was quieter until late in the second half. Overall, the DT room hasn't yet shown a clear leader. It's still wide open, but flashes of potential are there. Finally, the cornerback position, which has been a major concern, finally saw a glimmer of hope. Ringo got benched twice, giving Jakor Bennett more snaps. Bennett made two impressive deflections, one down the left sideline where he kept up with a speedy receiver, and another on a slant or post route where he timed it perfectly to knock the ball away. His speed, instincts, and ability to make plays in tight situations make him someone the Eagles can build on at cornerback. This game may have been low scoring, but for the young talent on defense, it was a showcase of potential. From Makuba's big plays to Bennett's deflections and Alari's pressure, the Eagles' future is starting to look exciting, fast, and dangerous. Eagles fans, who impressed you the most in this game? Makuba, Alari, or Jakor Bennett? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about who's ready to step up in 2025. I thought Jakorian Bennett was just being eased into the lineup, but let me tell you, this kid is going to start on day one. Same with Andrew Makuba. Let them get reps, let them learn, let them grow. Bennett has barely been here a week after the trade, and yet he's already making an impact on the field. He came in during the second half, immediately made a clean tackle on a sideline pass, no hesitation, no fear. He went in and hit hard, showing confidence and instincts that any defense would want. Now, Bennett did take a hit to the shoulder when he tried to punch the ball out through traffic. He hit a couple of bodies, went down, and the team checked him out. Fans, don't worry, he jogged off fine. He'll get some rest, and he'll be back stronger. The important thing? He's talented, he's smart, and he's already proving why he belongs in this secondary. Meanwhile, Keely Ringo didn't impress. He got benched twice in the game, subbed out so coaches could see other options. That's a huge red flag. Ringo might make the roster as a special teamer, but the cornerback starting job is slipping away from him. Eagles fans, don't expect him to win the starting job. He's just not showing the consistency or playmaking ability to earn it. Then there's Adoree Jackson, and honestly, I'm frustrated. He had a few open field tackles, but one play was infuriating. He tried a lazy tackle, let the runner hit the ground, and then walked away. That lack of effort nearly cost a first down. For a 29-year-old corner, this is unacceptable. If Jackson makes this roster, it would raise serious questions about effort and heart in the secondary. Fangio won't tolerate that kind of play, and neither should Eagles fans. On the bright side, Jakorian Bennett continues to shine. He's learning on the fly, playing with confidence, and clearly has the potential to be a starting cornerback. Come week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, we'll see him show his full talent on a healthy, full-speed field. Moving to the wide receiver position, Elijah Cooks is finally back from his injury in the first preseason game, but he's still limited. The injury really slowed him down, and he's still working to get fully back to form. On a positive note, Aeneas Smith scored a touchdown, showing flashes of what this receiving core could look like when healthy. Eagles fans, who's impressing you in the cornerback battle? Bennett making a case? Or are you still hoping for a surprise from Ringo or Jackson? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me who you trust in 2025. Starting with the wide receivers, Terrace Marshall had a few catches, but honestly, nothing that made you go, wow. Then there's Johnny Wilson. He got maybe 2 snaps in this game. That's it. But here's the thing. Wilson has been turning heads all preseason. He balled out in the first preseason game, crushed it in practice, and even dominated in the joint sessions with the Browns. Now he barely plays, and that's the signal. He's a lock for the final 53-man roster. On the flip side, Darius Cooper barely saw the field today, which actually tells us a lot. He's clearly going to stick as the depth receiver, maybe the wide receiver 3 or 4, and also contributes as a gunner on special teams. So right now, it's looking like Wilson and Cooper are locked in, while Terrace Marshall and Aeneas Smith are still fighting for snaps and touches. Marshall came back from injury, but hasn't shown enough to jump ahead of the others. If the Eagles keep 6 receivers, it's probably going to be Wilson, Cooper, Smith, and the top 3 healthy wideouts. Now, let's talk quarterbacks, because this is where things get interesting. Kyle McCord looked night and day better than DTR. DTR. Oh man, this guy has zero pocket awareness. He throws recklessly, even after a bad snap, and I just don't trust him as a backup, let alone in a real game. McCord, on the other hand, as raw as he is, showed poise, confidence, and playmaking ability. He threw a touchdown to Anaya Smith while taking a big hit and stayed in the pocket. He's got swagger, speed, and instincts, and I'm seriously loving him as the Eagles' number 3 QB. On the running back side, A.J. Dillon got some reps, but with a backup offensive line, there was only so much he could do. Montreal Johnson, though, wow. This undrafted free agent out of Florida has been injured for a while, but when he finally got reps, he dominated the middle of the field. Powerful, decisive, and relentless, Johnson showed he can move defenders and pick up tough yards. He might be a top practice squad candidate, and he's really making a case for himself. Keelan Robinson and Chandrick Powell have been solid, but Johnson's performance today might have stolen the show. Finally, the offensive line. The big story was Brett Toof at left guard. If Dickerson can't play in Week 1 against the Cowboys, Toof might have to step in. Honestly, he didn't look spectacular, but he didn't collapse either. It's a mixed bag. There's potential, but also work to be done before the regular season kicks off. Eagles fans, who are you trusting heading into 2025? Is it Johnny Wilson and Darius Cooper at wideout, Montreal Johnson at running back, or Kyle McCord as your backup QB? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me who's ready to make an impact in Week 1. Starting with the offensive line, Brett Toth had a solid game. There was one combo block, tackle to linebacker, that didn't go perfectly, but overall, he showed consistency and reliability. Toth has taken a lot of heat as a center in the past, and yes, he's not Jason Kelce, but right now he's the Eagles' last hope as depth on the left side, especially with Kenyon Green sidelined and probably missing the final 53-man cut. Toth showed he can step in if needed for a game or two, and honestly, I'm starting to trust that spot a little more than I thought I would. Now, let's talk about Drew Kendall, the 6th-round rookie. This guy is a jack of all trades. He can play center or guard, and even though he's not Kelce or Jurgens, he's smart, physical, and capable. Kendall moves well, can pull, and understands the game at both positions. If the Eagles need him for depth anywhere, he's ready. That kind of versatility is immense value for this roster. On special teams, things are still a bit up in the air. Avery Williams has been taking reps at punt return and kick return, especially alongside Darius Cooper, but it's unclear who will lock down these spots. Is Anaya Smith the punt returner? Or will someone else emerge? Michael Clay will figure it out, but for now, special teams remains an open competition, and I'm curious to see how it shakes out. Looking back at the preseason game against the Browns, it was actually a positive day for the Eagles. You could see players stepping up and showing who's ready. Andrew Makuba had a standout performance. Jakor Bennett is catching up fast, and Jalari and Oyari are staking claims for the number 3 edge rusher spot. Makuba's ball hawking instincts and coverage skills gave a taste of what he can do, and that only builds excitement for the rest of the preseason and the first game of the season. At the end of the day, it's about seeing growth, getting answers, and knowing who can perform under pressure. Eagles fans, now I want to hear from you. What was your favorite moment from this game? How do you feel about the quarterback and running back positions? Should Andrew Makuba start Week 1 and dominate? Comment below and let me know what you think. Who's ready to shine for the Eagles in 2025? Which player made the biggest impact in this preseason game? Let's hear your takes. Eagles Nation, it's time to talk.